and we think he's arriving by car, not truck. We know, but we have simply the best. Chris Eubank is here in the studio. I tell you what, normal TV shows, normal broadcasters would not be able to cram in to 1 hour what we're about to do, but we are not normal.
Well, what they say no to it, Rodney. You know, when you set out a format for a program, you know, you have 5 or 6 ingredients. You don't have 10 potential ingredients. And the reason why we're talking now, if you're thinking, why are they talking now if they've got so much on the show, is because about 6 foot from here, Chris Eubank is being mic'd up, and we can't let him in until he's mic'd up. We've got Eubank on the show. We've got George Groves, Michael Maguire, Adam Booth to talk about Vladimir Klitschko. Held a conference 2 days ago announcing he's fighting David Hay on June 20th at Stamford Bridge. So we think with Bunce we'll get David's side of affairs. Okay, we've got David Price, Olympic bronze medalist. Okay,
what a huge man he is. What a stature.
But then more than that, we've got
talking about stature.
We've got this man who's just going to walk in now and sit down.
Stevie.
How are you, Chris? You okay?
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, good to see you.
I'll get in the ring. Chris, lovely to see you.
Chris, I have to tell you that we are live.
Good.
Actually, as you've walked in, we are live, but we did it intentionally that way.
Good.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
The main reason we got you isn't under fantastic circumstances, because we were going to talk a bit about Reg Gutteridge,
yes,
who passed earlier this week. So before we talk a bit about yourself and what you're up to, what are your thoughts on Reg instantly, or your first, you know, your memories, our memories?
I did so many interviews with him, and you know, he was steady, he was nonchalant, he was cool, he was great, and you know, I'll miss him. We'll all miss him, I guess.
Yeah, we'll miss him. Let's just to put things into context here, because for many, Reg Gutteridge, he was the voice of boxing. Harry Carpenter for the BBC, ITV, it was all about Reg Gutteridge. And in that career, he watched and interviewed the best fighters in the world. One of them here, Chris Eubank, of course, but also Muhammad Ali. And Reg and Ali developed a great friendship. And in conversation with Sir Trevor McDonald in 1998, Reg recalled a very special occasion when he met up with the greatest when Reg was ill in hospital.
He sat on the bed, and so I said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "What are you doing here?" And that was the sort of conversation, you know. And then he closed his eyes and said a prayer, and a Muslim prayer and everything. I was quite moved by it. I mean, you would have been. I was quite ill at the time as well. But he left with a big smile and everything, and it was good of that. No, and then I said, "Where's Harry?" Then said, "Oh, he's downstairs." I said, "Well, you better go and get him." So he sent somebody down, and he came up there and spoiled the whole thing, really. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. But we had a photograph taken, which is in the autobiography that I did, which, you know, is great.
Yeah.
Reg Gutteridge, who passed away last week. Chris Eubank is with us in the studio, recalling some of the times that he was, of course, ringside, Chris, for the great fights between you and Nigel Benn.
I actually brought in a tape. I fought Anthony Logan in about 1989, early, and I was 11 fights unbeaten. And Anthony Logan had just come off of a loss to Nigel Benn.
Controversial loss.
Yeah, he nearly knocked it. I mean, Nigel Benn just, you know, he was just about to knock him out. Sorry, Anthony Logan was just about to knock him out, and Nigel Benn came from behind this left hook and actually floored him. And this Anthony Logan was a fighter I fought, yes, in '89, and Reg got my name wrong at the end of it. But you could hear, in the second round, you could hear his eloquence and his nonchalance, and, you know, is he going to do it? Can this Eubank really do it? And he got my name wrong, and when I was announced the winner, he got my name wrong. He called me Simon Eubank, my brother's name.
Of course.
Yeah, but
did he stick an S on the end as well? So it was Simon Eubank.
They did.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
Because he also famously, once when Chris entered the ring, you know, because Chris had this fantastic entrance, and he did use it for the first time, the ego has landed.
That's right, that came from him. That's right, yeah.
Which was a great compliment coming from Reg, if you think about some of the egos he'd been around.
Well, indeed, yeah. I mean, it was, I suppose, it was all in the business. Showmanship was part of the game, and if you didn't have it, you wouldn't do it. And if you had it, you couldn't help but flaunt it, and so I did.
Did you ever have any run-ins with him? Did he wind you up a few times?
No, I mean, you know, Reg was just very cool. You know, I remember in the Benn fight, I can remember him saying about Nigel Benn, or was it Michael Watson? He kind of like, you know, you notice that that little slit on his eye there, Jim Watt, do you notice that? You know, it's just very cool. Whereas most people, I mean, like, if you look at Barry McGuigan, in the heat of it, he really gets up, he starts screaming. Reg was always just kind of just cool. He was just cool. Reminds me of Barack Obama. Just cool.
Yeah, he kind of distanced himself from things, even though he was right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope Barack Obama can do that when it starts to get messy. Let's hope he can stay calm when it starts to get messy.
I think he's shown. I think he's shown that he's cool already in the debate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I hope for all of us. Anyway, I know we digress, but I hope for all of us. With Reg, it's a great story, but I'm going to tell you a story about Reg, Chris, that I don't think you'll even know. His father was a famous cornerman called Dick, and that wasn't his full name, that was his nickname. And he famously was the chief second in a British title fight between a guy called Dave Crowley and Eric Boone. And Boone's eye had swollen up closed, absolutely closed. So this is not from Rocky, this is from real life. I think the showgrounds in Norwich or somewhere. He cut his eye and sucked out the blood, spat the blood on the floor to allow Boone to continue the 15 rounds and win the title. But there was a price to pay because he got blood poisoning and was in hospital for 2 weeks. So Reg was grounded in stories like that. So it's no surprise that he was a calm man when he came under fire. I wasn't sure at first if Reg really took to you, but I know he did at the end. I wasn't sure at first. I think
He appreciated me. I mean, I was interviewed by him just after I beat Ben in 1990, and I can remember sitting there with my legs kind of crossed. And again, nonchalant and cool and asking me all the questions. No, but I mean, personally, he did appreciate me. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it seemed like a nice little point just to stop. But Reg Gutteridge, of course, will have some fond memories of him. Now, Chris is going to stay with us for a little while. But let's just move on and we'll get Chris's thoughts on the next subject, because the bell's gone. It's going to be like rounds today, 3-minute rounds. We've got so much to get through. After weeks of will they, won't they, and toing and froing, confirmation came this week that Ricky Hatton will fight Manny Pacquiao in Las Vegas on May the 2nd. Now, Hatton was beaten by Floyd Mayweather Jr. at the same venue in December 2007. The hitman says this time he won't let down his travelling army of fans.
I'm full to the brim of confidence of winning this fight. And with perseverance, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And I always said from day one, I mean, a lot of people probably thought in the early days that Ricky won't become a world champion. You know, he's not bad, but he's not quite good enough. But I've won world titles. I've won world titles at 2 different weights. And the only thing left for me to achieve in my career is to try and become the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And I feel very, very grateful that I've got the opportunity to do it now. And I thank my team for all the hard work that they put in making this fight happen. And I believe I'm going to win. And I promise you I won't let you down. This time I'm going to do it.
Right, the fight is on. Let's get the thoughts of Steve Bunce and Chris Eubank on that fight. I'll tell you what, we've saved ourselves at least you presenting the show naked.
Yeah,
which is a relief.
In all fairness, there's been possibly 30 or 40 emails. They started last Thursday saying, Buncey, we've bought tickets to Las Vegas, we've taken out hotels, we've taken out loans, you promised us this fight would happen, what have you done to us, and you didn't strip off, all that kind of stuff. But then suddenly on Tuesday or Wednesday, it's all changed around. Set by Elena and Rio set the tone, but there's probably been about 70 or 50, about 75, 80 emails saying the same thing. We knew you wouldn't let us down. The fight is on. It is going to happen. Now,
yeah, the rumour is that Pacquiao took the fight to save not seeing you naked.
Yeah, well, that's only rumour. Now, Rodri, it's a bit unfair to ask Chris about this fight because he wasn't told we would be talking about it.
Right.
But Chris, Hatton and Pac-Man, it's a big fight. I mean, can we just ask you about what your thoughts and feelings on such a big fight? Ricky, adored and loved, much like you at the end of your career, that's for sure.
Well, a fight it will be. It'll not be a boxing match. It'll not be, boxing, punching. It'll be a fight.
A scrap.
An old-fashioned fight.
Yeah, and, I suppose, sadly, I look at the after effects because he's been using that same style right the way through his career, has Ricky, and it's going to be damaging. Now, it'll be exciting for the spectators. It'll be a very exciting fight for the spectators. But for Ricky, what I saw with Mayweather Senior teaching him and taking him on the pads and giving him all of his skill sets and knowledge. I hope he's taken it on board, because you can't keep on actually, standing toe-to-toe with someone and looking to use that one trick, which is to come forward and fight.
You've got to use different.
Well, I'm not saying that he can't win the fight using that, but, to damage somebody, you have to bring yourself to damage them. And he's an extremely damaging fighter, as this Pacquiao.
That is the way it works. Because we just asked before we let you go, everything okay? Life good? You happy, boy?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy, yes.
Content?
Content. It's difficult for me.
I appreciate that.
In that I've always set my hat a little bit high. And in order to reach it, it takes persistence and control. I would say the only thing that is probably a little bit bothersome to me at this time is that there was a newspaper article not too long ago saying that I'd given my children away.
Oh, I saw this, yeah.
And
suggesting you might have even been selling them.
complete rubbish.
No, good. I'm pleased about that.
Well, but I suppose I expect people to know that. And my view has always been, if you reply to it, then you give them more to talk about. But the story is complete rubbish. I sent my children over to the United States, really for them to get off the streets of the United Kingdom, and for them to, well, one, to be trained by Mike McCallum at the top-ranked gym, of which I got him into that gym because they don't usually take amateurs.
Boys, that's right.
Amateurs, yeah. And Sebastian was obviously playing American football. They were in a gated community. They were in school 6 days a week. My boys don't take drugs, they don't smoke, they don't drink. They're blueprints of myself. And the point of fact is that all these children who have been killed over the last year, stabbings, my children are well, are safe. They're not in trouble and haven't been in trouble with the police. And so if the brunt is to really get bad press for actually having sent my children away, then that's fine, but they are
guilty.
safe.
Then you're guilty of that.
Yes, I'm guilty of that, but having my children adopted or given my children away, no, I haven't.
No, as far as you're concerned, if they're happy, then you're happy.
No. I need to be happy first, because they can't see what I see. I'm the parent. I'm the one who has been where they are. They've never been where I am. So the idea is, as a parent, I've got to set them straight and see that they are safe.
But it works the other way as well. Then you feel maybe even elated again that they are happy and where you've put them is a good place.
Yeah, it is a good place. They're back here now because the stories which were sold by this Guardian were false, and obviously we had them come back. But as I say, they're safe and they are clean and they're decent and they know right from wrong. And all in all, I've done a very good job. I know I didn't come on here to talk about that. Respect to Reg.
He was a big family man anyway, so he'd appreciate that.
Yes, he will be sadly missed.
He certainly will. 84 years of age, good innings. Yep. Reg had a good run.
Yeah.
Knew some good people, mixed with some good people all the way through his life. Do you know he was on 11 This Is Your Life's?
11.
He had his own, and then he appeared in 10 others. And when he actually did, when he was tricked into doing it, Michael Buffer, live from Las Vegas, introduced it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so he had a bit of power. Have you had This Is Your Life, Chris?
Well, of a sort. I mean, Eamon Andrews was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, of course. A bit before my time as well.
Yeah, but I did do one with...
Michael Aspel.
Michael Aspel.
No, it was Star Lives with Carol Vorderman.
Okay.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So not the traditional one.
I've enjoyed my 15 minutes. And who knows, I may come back for a second round. Not boxing-wise, though. Let's make that very clear.
That's good, because we haven't heard one of those rumours about you for at least 5 years. That's pleasing.
My son said to me the other day, why don't you actually, make a comeback, Dad? And I said, listen, what I earned out of boxing, I can never actually replace. If I went back, I would only lose it. You see, there is something more than fighting ability. There's something called honour. And when you win that, you mustn't go back and try to get a second measure of it, because you can't. No one can actually replicate what they did when they were young. And so one should leave with the respect that they've built, because if you go back, you lose the respect that you won. Carry on.
Nope, that's it. I knew the bell was going to ring there, Chris.
15th and last.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much, Chris Eubank.